Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be in the world. Thank you for visiting He Still Speaks Now Listen. I have an interesting message, but for those who wonder why the channel called He Still Speaks Now Listen, God gave me this channel title many years ago. He told me that I'm always speaking, but the problem is people are not listening to me because they want to hear what they want to hear. And because of that, they don't get the answer. Because sometimes we pray to God and seek out answers, but we have our answer already, hoping that God will agree with us. And when the answer comes in a different direction, we don't want to accept it. But that's enough of that. I was sitting at my desk and I was thinking, I'm serious. Maybe you might have thought about it. What is your purpose in life? Why were you born? And what is your purpose? Are you fulfilling your purpose? Everyone have a purpose. Everyone else have a God created purpose. Sometimes I wonder why I wasn't a singer, a movie star, or whatever. But that was not my purpose. It's like I'm trying to learn how to sing but can't sing. Want to sing but can't sing. Want to be a rapper but cannot rap. But God has given me the gift of writing. And I guess I can say writing is similar to rapping or singing because some people write their own lyrics. But He gave me a gift that I can bring forth messages that make you think. So as I sat at my desk and I was thinking, God allowed me to wake up. This is July the 4th, and there's a lot of celebration going on across the world in various forms, various nationalities, and whatever. There are people sick, in coma, in jail, in prison, dead or missing, experiencing hard time in their life, and they don't care, not the dead, but they don't care about July the 4th. They want their life to be to some form of normalcy. Imagine or think about someone in a coma that you know, that you love and you care for. They're unaware of the world outside that physical body, if they can see it spiritually. So I begin to think that we all have a purpose in life. We can get jobs, some get married, some have babies, some do a lot of things. But to be honest with you, I'm speaking for myself. We do a lot of things based on self, what we can get out of it, what we can get from it. Excuse me, who can be beneficial in our lives. And that's the way it goes. You must recognize the purpose that God has given you in your life and for your life. Are you living the purpose that God has gave you? Are you just doing what somebody else wants you to do? Are you happy in the job that you chosen? Can you reach your potential in the job that you're in? Is the job that you're doing stagnant? You're not going anywhere. You just existing. You paying bills, and you're just not happy with your job. Don't look at your life to compare it with others. You have a purpose. If you had not asked God, what is your purpose? I suggest that you do. Well, as always, God has given me this channel many years ago. And I sometimes on Facebook I do what I call pop-up messages. And I have so many pop-up messages I say can be a book. But I see things and sometimes I don't say anything about it, and sometimes I see things and I do say something about it. But what caught my attention and brought this message forth is I was channel surfing and I saw looked like a protest, and I saw men and women nude. You know how they do when you watch something on TV, they blur out the part, they blur out the breasts of the woman, sex up the man and the woman, but they still was completely naked. And then I saw a woman walking in the midst of the crowd, and she was holding one child hand or two child hands, I can't recall. She didn't look back and she just walked through the crowd. And I said, what? But of course, I've seen that on TV many, many times over. But what caught my attention, because I have grown spiritually, is a lot of people don't know the law. I heard in my past that people say I don't talk about religion and politics. It doesn't apply to me. I'm not interested in it. Why should I know? But I say, you who feel that way, I can take advantage of you through deception and seduction to cause you to believe based on your emotions and feelings. I'm looking at my notes. To cause you to look at yourself and how it benefits you and what is for you. So the title of the message is Public Indecency, because when I saw those individuals in the crowd naked and the lady had to walk in the midst of all that, I said, wow, that is bad. There are laws. There are city laws, the state laws, the county, local ordinance, and there are federal laws. I have not read and seen and heard from any local politician that certain laws has been erased or repealed or rewritten. To those of you who don't know this, public indecency is against the law. It is against the law. It is still active and enforceable. Our feelings, our emotions, what we feel, I deserve special privilege because I'm black, I'm white, I'm this, I'm that. No, the law is the law, and it has not changed. It has not changed. And I thought about the incident I saw on the social channel. As a former police officer, I know that there is a law called public indecency. If I walk out of my home or you walk out of your home naked or go in the store naked or go anywhere naked, the police officer going to call. First thing, going to think you're crazy or you have a mental issue or missed a problem. They may even seek, if you don't talk or say anything, they may get you a blanket or cover you up, or maybe not even bother covering you up, and take you to a hospital to be evaluated, and they might put you in a mental institution because they declare that they can't get anything from you to say anything. And that is like a normalcy. But if I do those things and the police officer approach me, can I say, well, you can't arrest me because I'm black? I have a political belief or religious belief, or this is my religion. I can walk around and who's I'm harming? I'm not harming anyone. I can say those things, but it doesn't nullify the public indecency law. If I decide to form a group of my peers to make a protest, I know I must get a permit. Why a permit? Because the police may be needed. If I'm going down the city street, the traffic must be blocked. They must know, is it allowed in that specific area? They may have to have EMTs and fire and the whole logistics to protect the public because you're doing a peaceful event. An unpeaceful event where rioting and looting and setting things on fire and doing whatever based on your emotions, that is not a peaceful, activity that you feel that you are allowed to do. And when you go through that process, and I thought about it, I said, wow, it's public indecency. So the mother who walked through the crowd to get away or go through where she was going introduced that public indecency on her children. Can she be charged by taking a minor into a certain setting was inappropriate? I'm quite sure she can. I'm quite sure she can be charged. But it's not done. The local law officials call the people to step down and don't enforce the law. The laws of the land still exist. is not based on emotions, feelings, color of the skin. Should it be executed? It should be executed. I have no special rights over you, and I have no special right over them. This is not a put down message or you shouldn't say that kind of message. It's an educational message. I have no intention to force you to do anything because I know there's a lot of individuals that do not know, do not care about talking about religion and politics and what's going on around. They just don't care. If it doesn't pertain to them directly, they just don't care. I don't really want to know. But indirectly, they do know, don't know. And I many times talk to people and they say, really? That's a law? That's a law? I didn't know that. You got to be kidding. Where you seen that at? What news channel said that? What pastor say what you're saying? But no, law is a law. Nothing I'm saying is my opinion to a certain extent. Wherever you live, in a county, in a city, you can go to the public library. You can sit before your computer and type in public indecency in your state. Public indecency based on the local audiences, in the state law, in the city law, in your state, and see what that defines. When I was a police officer, and every police officer, when they get become a police officer, they get a book. And this book, if you can see, Pocket Guide to Georgia Criminal Laws. And when an officer should know all of it, but if he don't, he can look in the book and see. If there's no law, he cannot charge. Put it like that. If there's no written law for what you're doing, you have not violated the law. So I decided to see what Georgia law says when it comes to public indecency. It's titled, every law has a number, 16-6-8, public indecency. A person can commit the offense of public indecency when he or she perform any of the following acts in the public: an act of sexual intercourse, a lewd exposure of sexual organs, a lewd appearance in a state or partial, complete nudity, or a lewd, careless, or incident fondling the body of another person. That person can be convicted of public indecency, which is prohibited by this code section. And upon they can be charged with a misdemeanor. I have seen this where people are naked, exposing themselves, touching each other, dancing up on each other, caressing each other's body parts and stuff. This is a law. And when police officers are standing by watching this because it is a non-sanctioned pop-up kind of event, they don't enforce the law. But if the average citizen does the same thing that these individuals are doing, what will happen? They will be arrested. So look at the laws. And so I did a little search. I said, well, let me see what the law is in California. Just to give you an example. My iPad. California indecent exposure law makes it a crime to willfully expose your genital for sexual gratification. The act must be done in a manner that the defendant had intent to draw public attention to their genitals or sexual gratification to offend another. We say, well, if we are not groupies or in a way of, let me see, I can do something else. We are not person that say, uh, I'm offended by your actions. I'm offended by your action and behavior. I'm black, you white, whatever race you are, whatever gender you are, we all have our opinion. If I don't agree with your opinion, that's my choice. I have a right to agree and disagree. Not agree to disagree, because when we agree to disagree, nobody wins. We just walk off into the sunset thinking we both are right. But God is the ultimate opinion maker. His solution is final. You may not like it, you may not care about it, you may resist me saying it, but that's the way it goes. So emotionalism does not trump the law. Racism does not trump the law. Your sex does not trump the law. We may want it and it may be allowed, but it does not eradicate the law. In Florida, it's unlawful to expose or exhibit one sexual organ in public on a private premises of another, or so near there 2, as to be seen from such private print is in a vulgar manner to be naked in public. This is except in place provided set apart for that purpose. So the thing is, wherever you live, public indecency is different in different parts of the country. But when the average citizen don't know, looking up another one, when the average citizen isn't aware, in Washington State, the state is saying, this is general, say, in addition to a statewide ban on public indecency, there are also local ordinances that the citizens must abide by. Municipality may also prosecute simple nudity on the various disorderly ordinances. In Washington State, a person is guilty of indecent exposure if he or she intentionally make any open and obscene exposure of his or her person or the person of another, knowing that the conduct is likely to be called reasonable affront. So these are examples. Let me see, go with another one to show you that it's not my thinking or my belief or my opinion or I shouldn't say that, it doesn't exist. These laws are on the book. And it has not been repealed. Won't let me see, type it wrong. Let me go with one more. The California, New York State laws provide that exposure of a person, statute PL 245.01, can be charged when you show your private parts in public. Public lewdness, PL Public Law 245.00, is more serious and can be charged if the exposure is intentional in a lewd manner. So what is my point and why I'm saying what I'm saying? Because God will move upon anyone to say what needs to be said. When the citizen remain quiet and go to look the other way and say it doesn't apply to me, people just do it and become normal. But when you just begin to study and educate yourself and then discover that that behavior is wrong, that you don't believe me, you try it. Walk out. No, you don't have to try, but think. Imagine, like I said, at any given moment, you decide to take your clothes off and drive or walk around. The police officer will call you, and depending on how you respond, they may let you go, they may cite you, they may take you to the hospital to be evaluated, see your mental condition, because why would a normal person just walk out there nude? I mean, in my law enforcement experience, I have seen and dealt with individuals that completely nude, running down the street, screaming and yelling. They had a mental problem, and we take them to the hospital. They was evaluated, and they put them in an institution for 2 or 3 days to see what they are about. So it does happen. It does happen. And the law is not black and white or green or color. We do not decide, we should not decide, law enforcement should not decide that this law applies to this race of people, this group of people, and it does not. But it's really done that way. The law is applied based, it's like Lady Justice is blind. She had the blindfold. She does not see color, skin, race, popularity, or job status, or who you are. Lady Justice say, well, I'm hearing the evidence, and what I'm hearing so far, you're innocent and you're guilty of balancing of scales. Lady Justice does not take the blindfold off and, oh, you black, you're homeless, you don't have no job. Who are you? You are guilty. You will fine, go to jail with a fine. Oh, you, Mr. Prominent Citizen. Oh, you well known. You got a business, you got a house. Oh, you're white, you black, you're white. You are a established citizen in the community. Oh, not guilty, no fine, no time served. You take it off your record. That is being done. But when we as a race of people, all races, do not know our laws and our rights, people can take advantage of us. And then when we try to exercise our rights, then we are told to shut up. It's like, I use the example, when a police officer stops you in the street in the car and you say, sir or ma'am, why do you stop me? They should tell you why do you stop you. Not shut up, be quiet, I'm the law. You need to listen to me. Oh, by the way, can I search your trunk? Do you have permission to go in your glove box or what? No, you can't do that. You got something to hide. Well, maybe I need to get a search warrant. Well, maybe I need to get a dog. Using threats and whatever to get the person to comply. And the person, okay, go ahead and look in the car. And what if they had someone that been in the car weeks later that left a little marijuana cigarette? They can be charged. So we must educate ourselves and know our law. But then someone can say, oh, well, I didn't know it was against the law to walk down the street naked. I didn't know I cannot be arrested. But did you know ignorance of the law is no excuse? Ignorance of the law is no defense against criminal or other proceeding. You can't go to for the judge and say, well, I didn't know it was against the law. It should be like basic common sense. If you take your clothes off and you walk down the street, you should, if you're not mentally deranged, you should know that there's some type of consequence, whether you're aware or not. So this is also mentioned in the Word of God. It's also, if you do your homework, Google search, ignorance of the law is no excuse, you will see a lot of legal terminology pertaining to this. It's Latin, where it comes from. And then originally it was in the Bible. It's in the Bible. Ignorance of the law is no excuse first shows up in the Bible. Leviticus 5:17. If a person sins and does what is forbidden in any of the law's commandment, even though I'm gonna say she does not know he or she is guilty and will be held responsible. The Bible says the sin. When we call it crime is actually a sin. If you want to believe it, or accept it that way. When we violate any part of the law, we actually sin. But in legal definition is a crime. So just think about what I'm saying to you. Like I said, I'm not coming, when I found out in my experience, when I share information, people think I'm bashing someone or saying this is my opinion. I do my best to try to educate myself first, to educate you, because I know from my experience, a lot of people did not know or do not know there's certain laws out there. You don't know what a law? Do your homework. You can go to any library, like I mentioned. You can do your own search from your home computer and say, type in, is this a law? Is this a law? I was thinking of this message. Uh, I thought about, I'm gonna add it to this message. It's like, no, I think I do another message on it where it won't bleed over there. I say, wow, the average citizen do not know that this behavior or their behavior is a law. So I'll leave you with this thought. If you do not believe me, and you refuse to accept what I'm saying, because the color of my skin, or who am I to say this and that, because so-and-so is not saying that, what you're saying is false, misinformation or whatever. No, do your homework. Right now, do your homework. Pause your video. Look what state you in. You have a county code, you have a city code, you have a state code, and you have a federal code that governs our behavior. And no group of people is above the law and say that they can do whatever they want to do because for whatever reason. And at the same time, the other people can be charged with the very same thing that they looking the other way. It is wrong. It is wrong. God is speaking through a lot of us. He's have shown you he may have shown you what you're hearing now. You may have never had all the pieces of the puzzle, and now you know. So I say, oh, I'm naked in the crowd. I'm standing completely naked with a bunch of other females, and the woman is walking her kids. She's responsible for her child, and she walked through that environment. Or even if she stopped in that environment, she can be charged because she's exposing her child to lewdness, which is wrong. So no one is innocent. Be mindful of your settings. Be mindful what you're about to say. Be mindful about what you're about to do. Be mindful about what you agree. If you agree with something that's on the TV, if you agree with what you see in the media, do your homework and see, is it against the law? If it is not, enjoy it. If it is against the law, a violation of the law, then you should not partake in it. Not be. If you partake in it because of the color of your skin or who you are, what you feel, what you believe, and your emotion, I know that the Word of God said you may get away with it in the physical, but God's judgment and God sees all things. You may get away with it for a long time. And that's always, I close with this. You ever wonder when bad things happen to you, or why did it happen to you, or why? Maybe because something you agree with in your lifetime is coming back because you sow that thought. You can be in a certain city and state and see something on the news in another state and agree with that. You just agree with that sinful behavior. It's like a person who's with another person who decides to commit a crime. The person commit the crime, but the person outside looking out or sitting in the car. And depending on what happened in that crime setting, that person who's not there physically doing the crime, but they did the watch out or the lookout man or the drive off. If that person kills someone in the commission of that crime, that person that's sitting in the car can be charged also. So we must think when we give people rides or be a part of something. Well, I don't do that. Well, why don't you look? I'm going to shoplift. You just look out for me, okay? And you look out for the person because they're friends and they steal something, and then you go to jail like, oh, I didn't do nothing, but you did. You've been the lookout, and sometimes we get in trouble because of our friends' behavior. So that's all about this particular message. But do your homework. There are many laws. I thought about doing a few just to educate the general public to let them be aware that it's not about no law I have read in this book say black and white, male and female. It simply tells you what is allowed and what you cannot do. And when the law is not equally applied, you have an imbalance going down, not a balancing where you are judged according to what the law states. So if you like what you heard, subscribe to my channel. Give me your comment. Give me your opinion. If you want me to say, preach, or teach you on something, or reveal something to you, if you have a question about, is this the law? Like I say, you can do it. If you want me to discuss it in more, yes, my background, I work as an undercover police officer. I did traffic. I taught the drug abuse program in high school and elementary school. I've been on bike patrol. I rode a horse. I had an opportunity to work in a jail. I had the opportunity to work in a maximum security prison. So I have a broad spectrum of occupation pertaining to law enforcement that you may not be aware of. And you may say, oh, really, that does happen? Or that, oh, wow. So remember, educate thyself. This video is to educate you, to inform you, to make you aware of what you see around you. And mostly, a lot of things that's happening right now is based on people's emotions. My rights, my color of my skin does not supersede anybody else. Who am I to say my color is better than that person's color? Am I God? Am I the judge, the ultimate judge and jury to say my color, my preference, whatever I want, supersedes your normalcy, your obedience to the law? I don't care what you say. I don't care what you want to do. I'm going to do what I want because I want this, and this belongs to me. Because look at them. And then the average citizen said, no, it's wrong. And then you say, shut up. Go along to get along. And some, sadly, people go along to get along because they don't want no problem in their life. But it does not make you innocent. Like I said, it does not make you innocent if you agree with something that you see across the country on the TV and social media, and you agree with that behavior without looking and researching to see if it's right or wrong. You are guilty because you came in agreement. It's like you are the lookout man in the car, like I gave. You came in agreement with something you saw and heard because it appealed to your, well, they deserve that. Oh, they deserve this. It's like I was telling someone the other night, it's like a person know of a crime where someone has been killed. Man, I don't rat on my people. I don't snitch on my people. Let the police officer do their job. But guess what? When something happens to their family member, they want what? They want the person to snitch to try to get the person who killed their family member. You can't have it both ways. But it is done that way. So like, subscribe, and share, and comment. Allow others to hear what you have heard. And like I said, ignorance is no excuse. This is not bashing anyone. In any other videos, You can check out the many videos on my channel. I have several. I have Thoughts in AM. He Still Speaks Now. Listen is the one you're on. Hidden Tears is another one. And you see the videos. Look at the videos that I have put out there. Someone else told me that my video, and I said this, now we'll close. I always look at other people's videos and say, well, I should have did something like that, but that's not my calling. My calling is not to say anything about this or that. I must stay in the area where God has put me and give me the creative gift to say what need to be said. Someone said my sites, my videos are more educational. It calls you, the individual, to look at yourself, not the other person. And if you look at a lot of videos out there on YouTube or any social media channel, they kind of they kind of mimic and copy off of each other to a certain degree, and there's no difference between the two. You can actually sit there and watch and know what's going to happen because you watch something on another channel. But my videos cause you to look. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. I can't be monetized until I get the back then in the past, before monetization came in, I was monetized and had commercials in my videos, but they changed it to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of viewers. So that's what I need to get. That's my goal, to get 1,000 subscribers. Subscribe, share, and let people hear what you heard. And then 4,000 hours of views, so I can be monetized and start earning some money. Because if I thought about it, if I was trying to earn money or get monetized, I would have stopped videos a long time ago. I have videos probably 5 and 10, 7 years old. But, I keep doing it. Some of my videos have 0 people looking at it. Some of my videos have, some like 1, 2, 3. So if I was out for the money, I would have stopped a long time ago. That's what I'm saying. So remember, there are laws. If you're not sure if this is a law, do your research. Thank you again. God willing, I'll be back with another message. Comment, subscribe, like, and share, and allow others to hear what you have heard. Thank you.